So I got called out to a tap which keeps running when you close it. Let's have a look. So you got to put quite a lot of force to close that tap. Let's fix it. Now because there's no isolation valves on these, we're going to have to switch the water off at the main stop tap. First thing first, turn off the stop tap. Make sure the water is off on both taps because we're going to change both of the heads on them. Now we could just replace the taps, but we're just going to use a reviver kit like that. So first things first, you want to remove that top cover. There's a screw we got to contend with, so undo that screw. And that was quite stuck, but we got it in the end. Now these can be quite hard to remove because obviously if limescale has taken place, then you know it's not going to be easy. Oh, look at that. Now I don't think that's going to be easy to remove, but let's have a go. There you go. So the inside of your tap should be seated. So there's a tool you put in and you turn around, clean it out. But if you feel on this one, it's quite nice and clean. I don't think there's going to be problems on this one. Unscrew your cap. Take the screw out completely, and then we can take that cap off, and that simply screws back on there. Make sure that's nice and tight, and we'll give that a clean before we put the tap back together. One done. Now we're going to repeat exactly the same for the cold. I mean, it doesn't need it because the cold is okay, but we're going to change it anyway. Now this one seems to have less lime scale than your hot, which is quite normal because your hot gets more lime scale than your cold. But the taps are the same age, so now that we got the water isolated, is a good time to change your cold as well. There's no point coming out and changing the hot and not changing the cold. You got the water isolated and you buy these as a kit, so you might as well just change the cold as well. 70mm spanner again. Let's try it. That's quite stiff. So just use that adjustable to hold that tap, and then just crack it like that. Make sure there's no gouges. That's fine. So now we can just put in your tap head. Just give it a nice tight. Your cover goes back on, and these are only hand tightened, don't need to put too much force into them. There you go. Hey presto. Now we can turn the water back on and hopefully everything will be alright. And if you've done a good job, there should be no leaks. The tap should close nice and gently. Same with your hot. Hey presto. Done. All we got to do is clean this up. And as a treat, we're going to clean out the trap and we're going to reseal that section. So to start off with, you want to close that overflow hole nice and tight. Get your plunger in there. And plunge away. Any bits like that, just take out and put aside. Any of the big bits. But you can see by closing your overflow you get really good suction, and that's already draining quite nicely. These SPI plungers really have a good suction. As you can see, no gunk is coming out now. That drain seems to be running nice and clear now. So that's the result. And that's how you plunge your basin trap nice and clean. You can clearly see all that silicone. It's absolutely terrible. And then when you need your Stanley blade in there, just swap it over. And hey presto. Now, look at that. That's all loose. That's all loose. So we'll just take it out. If we can. Just break it out. Now it does go without saying, make sure your plug is in there. But what we'll do now is just get the wire wool on it and get any of those bits of silicone off there. And when you use the wire wool, you can actually see where silicone is stuck in there. We'll clean that up nicely. And any stubborn bits, just come back with our scraper and get them with that. And then get yourself some wipes, clean that up nicely. And then you want to dry everything nicely as well. Make sure it's nice and dry where you can apply that silicone. Now let me just say, this is crazy. This is mad to put silicone in gaps like this. This shouldn't be that big, but it is, and we're going to deal with it, right? We are just going to deal with it. You don't want to put too much. And yes, gents, I'm going to use my fingers for this. And wetting your finger with a wet wipe works really nicely. And hey presto, that's it.